three of you, the hackathon organizer, judging, so I can share a little bit a gist of like what is the common mistake and what you can focus on so that you can build faster and better. So why most team struggles? So in the beginning, either you have no idea what to build, or you have too many ideas, or like you start to over-engineer early, so you start to build the microservices which doesn't make sense to showcase for the hackathon, or you focus on wrong things, or like a team chaos. So like maybe you don't communicate to each other and you find out that three of you were building exactly same feature, or like someone just like pushed like a completely wrong branch, or like you never hit submit. This is really important. So the half-finished project is better than you don't submit at all. So they're like often by the end of the hackathon, I myself had the same experience that all the engineers, developers feel like my project is not good enough to submit. So you feel shy, you don't submit, but you will be surprised at how your project could be good enough for the hackathon. And a bad demo. So please don't neglect that demo or pitch is important. In the end, judges don't have a time to go through your code base line by line or like checking the feature by feature. So if you cannot demonstrate what you are building or like what kind of things are important to look into, you will not have chance to become finalist. But of course, hackathon is not just about winning, but the good practice of this is not to win only, but this is a very similar practice that you will go through if you join startup or product team. So this is a nice practice you can do with the new people. So hackathon is for clarity and execution. So many people are going to be thinking that hackathon is like best developers come and then making a most complex architecture, technically like beautiful and building things, but we have only 48 hours practically, it's like since Friday to Sunday morning to submit. So not the most code, not the smartest stack. It's about you build something which plausible so that you can explain and showcase your idea. The myth is like people often think that like, oh, I'm not the best coder. You need to execute. And then most features, we need to put like a lot of different features to make this story complete. It's not true, best demo wins. You will be like, oh, I don't slave, we're gonna ship most of things. You need to focus on few things to demonstrate your work. And then complex tech is not like a winning point, it's more like a clear value what it delivers. So you build all the complex things, but it has no value in your demo, they will not even look into it. And all this kind of thing is something like another, how to say that, like, groundbreaking news, but often when you start to build, like engineers tend to focus on the left side and the right side, and this is a good practice. A lot of you may become founder or joining early stage startup. Often we use this side brain, but we need to go to the reality brain. And what judges do? So judges like have perhaps like 3 minutes to decide if I want to read further your project or not. So like there are going to be like 80 projects, let's say, and then you need to nail down quickly. So even sometimes it's a 60 seconds you feel like, do I want to read further or not? It should have a clear problem, working prototype, value over the like a tag, and then creativity and the storytelling and polish. All this kind of thing, you will be wondering what does it exactly mean. We will go through also like some examples as well. But the thing is, you don't over polish things. So like a high fidelity prototype is not necessary for the hackathon. You need to focus on few core features which can demonstrate what you wanted to build and prove the point, and talk about that. And focus on the value it brings, what problem it's solving, instead of how it was difficult to integrate and how complex thing it is. So, it's a simple concept. It should be like something, if someone is asking what you are building, judges or mentors going to be around, please talk to them also during hacking so that they can be aligned with you. And also this is some magic things. If you talk to those judges and mentors first during hacking, you actually reduce their time to judge, right? Because they already know about your project. This is really clever thing to do. So please make sure that you talk to them and ask them questions so they know where you're heading to. Then you can perhaps a little bit, make it up that when you don't have enough time to explain everything, they know why you implemented this tech because they had a chat with you. So like a simple concept, talk to them, making an easy demo. So demo should be never complicated. And one memorable moment. This is something I really how to say that, want to emphasize. So if you are not the master of the presentation, which is completely fine, this is the one of the biggest advice I can give, is make one memorable moment. It can be some soundbite, like some nice quote. You feel like, oh my God, everyone gonna quote this on Twitter and talk about my demo. One thing, focus on what I gonna say. So that one memorable moment, so that judges, after like 20 projects they read, they remember, oh, that guy, oh, like that team, who said that. That's important thing. So that the strong narrative is like quite attached to the memorable moment and a finished feel. Your project doesn't need to be fully fledged and finished, obviously, but it should give a kind of finished cycle. So if you have like a cycle of like people going through different interaction, make sure that demo is delivering it. And most teams fail the same way. I did fail same way, and this is a few things, perhaps like a little bit different angle. What is the fail factor to check it together? So building too much, like 12 feature MVP that demos none of them. So like all of you gonna be now like debating within your team what is the most important feature, and some of you start to focus on fun to integrate but not necessary, and then they will not have enough time. And brainstorming for hours. So this is like 48 hours hackathon effectively, because you need to submit on Sunday morning. Your idea should be like 30 minutes is a little of the exaggeration, but let's say you shouldn't talk about core concept like hours. Rather quickly choose in an hour. So this is a great opportunity if you're forming a team now, discuss what you are mainly building, and then discuss some detail, and you need to start to build. The infrastructure heavy ideas, this is also often the case that people are building projects that need a lot of like scale, to build, and they often ended up in infrastructure, not the core app they wanted to actually build. This is something like a common problem. Also, startup founders often focus on some infrastructure to make their app fly. For them, they still had an intrinsic value to do so, because that their business perhaps must be built on top of it. But for hackathon project, you don't need to build all the infrastructure. If you had to fake some data, fake it. It's not like a faking it, you give the dummy data, right? As such, infrastructure, if there's some interaction, you can make it as a dummy interaction, do that, and focus on core interaction. And of course, don't lie about it, it's fine. And no clear problem, so you build it, but everyone asking why did you build it? I don't know, obviously make the story around it and ignoring the demo and pitch. And no team roles, so they're four of you sitting there together, and all of you are perhaps often ending up working on the same thing. None of you were building the portfolio submission. None of you were working on the presentation, or someone said that oh, I will be working on this, but it wasn't clear, and then you realize that there's no front end stack. So please make sure that quick discussion and divide and conquer. Don't work on a perfect app. It's obvious thing, but all of you are gonna have a bit of the butterfly telling you you need to build something perfect. But hackathon is not about that. Depending on unstable APIs. So today, you saw that on the stage, microphone was on and off sometimes 30 seconds, right? Same thing can happen during your final pitch. So make sure that you don't rely on something gonna break down. So make sure you have some backup, which is recorded video or some screenshots to prove the point. And building invisible feature, what it means. So there's a certain features you don't actually care when you're looking into. Think about Tinder. So you want to showcase that some matching algorithm, how people are making a dating market, or maybe some nice design to how to trigger people to say a good or not, and then some funny gimmicks, not the login feature. But if you go to a hackathon, a lot of people are ending their project after 40 hours building some login feature and SMS notification. And you're like, but this is dating app. Where is the dating part? Dating is not happening. So please focus on things you should show and which can be demoable, not building individual feature. And of course, so that don't forget the story why you wanted to build so you can pitch. So winning team follow those try to avoid those winning, fail factors so they can reduce the risk early enough. And what can be good hackathon idea? So easy to explain. So if you can explain without jargon so that judges can understand, that's the best. Remember, not every judges are expert in your domain. So there are going to be also some non-tech judges as well. Always, wherever hackathon you go, even technical judges, some people are gonna be like focused on like, let's say, like clients. Some people focus on, I don't know, VR. Then how would you convince them? So you need to have some common language to explain your demo. And it should be demoable, very quick. A lot of people wasting on stage, like hooking up and try to like make things working for like 90 seconds. You don't have time for that. It should go in 5 seconds to start, and you should show your magic in first 30 seconds so people stay engaged. And it should be interesting visually. Doesn't mean that it should be fancy, but you should make sure that something is readable instead of like CLI working on things that people barely can read. It looked like some, I don't know, like a North Korean hacker from the movie. No, like please add some visuals so that people can understand. And it solves some obvious pain. The last one is, I would say, arguable. So most projects, please serve something obvious pain that you can serve. You can address the problem of users. But if you want to go completely wild, like you may say, I want to solve the problem for, I don't know, alien living in Mars. That may be ridiculous, but it's a fun project as well. So you can go complete wild, but make sure that your persona has some pain and you need to solve that problem. It doesn't need to be always super realistic, but it should be plausible that people can engage and understand so that they can enjoy seeing your program. So pain, feasibility, demobility, all of these, you should just like remember these 3 hits, and you can see that it's a multiplier. So if one of them goes 0, everything goes 0. So if you have like pain point addressed, it's feasible, but you cannot demo, it's a 0. They cannot prove that you actually built it. Your demo is there, but you actually don't see like what's feasible. Like you couldn't like even make it feasible, then it doesn't work, right? You have like some shitty demo, you couldn't ship it, it's not working. So make sure that simple rule, it should be addressing some pain point, interesting story, it's feasible so that you can actually build, don't overbuild it, and you should be able to demo. So like a bad and good idea, simple example, just for the sake of like sharing what is the storytelling technique. So a decentralized like ZK identity layer for Web3. It sounds like a typical headline of the big tech companies, like now in Web3, right? Because that's not a hackathon project. It's a big project. It's a commercial word. You need to address the big audience. But for hackathon, obviously you will not build a whole stack. You need to focus on prove that you're over 18 on chain without sharing your ID so you can buy a drink. You know what I mean? So like it's same thing practically, but you are building actually subset of the feature only. So don't say overly broad story so that people actually don't remember what it's built for. It's not even punchy, but focus on that, and that will actually help you what you need to build during this hackathon, nail down to few features only. So they're like an engineer, also like a wow moment. We talked about it should be memorable. So one is like an easy thing is make sure the visual is there. It should be instantly working. And then some surprising point, try to think. Judge is gonna say, wow, that actually worked, or like that's interesting way of thinking. So you make the wow moment and make it tangible so that they can, how to say, they're like, resonance with you. So it's tangible so they understand. It's something not like I actually don't understand the mind of that user. I don't understand why you were actually building it. Then likely you will not make it. Even if it's an amazing project, just will not see the value in it. And this is like a bit of the repetition, but let's make sure that like please don't make too many features. How many I am saying this, you will end up in the situation discussing with your teammate that we should stop building that. And then also don't like optimize thing premature, like refactoring at first, like evening is not a thing. But if you have someone who is like working on that, like make sure that you are not building for production, you're building for hackathon. So must, wow, and nice. So this is like how make it like a memorable like features and how to nail down few features to build. So there's always some core functionality that you need to build, 1 or 2. You need to ship it. Then you can think about adding more features. There's one wow feature that like, wow, I want to surprise judges that like this is amazing app, why I am different, not practicing Todoist, but actually this is doing something else. And then nice is like when those are done, you can add it. But at demo, you focus on demonstrating must and wow and mentioning nice when question comes. So how these 3 example, let's say you're building on-chain Deadman switch. And then you're gonna focus on like everyone know what is Deadman switch? So this is something, if someone is dead, it will be automatically like release something. So it doesn't need to be on chain, but the example is I'm like a author, a journalist, like working on some sensitive topics. Someone may kill me. If I get killed, my like a vault of all the sensitive information go to like 5 different colleagues that we can continue like research on this. Or like your crypto, like a fund is there. Of course, you don't want to share your private key with your family right now, but car accident happened and my 2 billion worth Bitcoin gone. Of course, I don't have 2 billion, but let's imagine that that's a nice thing to think about. And then you want to make sure to set up something that it can share perhaps like a, I don't know, multi-sig key to your family member or something. So you got the gist of what is Deadman Switch. What is important? Check-in timers. How Deadman Switch often work is like a, because you're alive, you need to check in so that it's keep working. But once when you forgot to check in, which means that you are not accessible, available, then it releases that. So you need to build a timer. That's a core feature. And then auto-release is the core feature as well, right? That's the gist of Deadman Switch. You don't check in, they release it. What is the wow factor? Maybe panic button reverse so that I'm not dead, but I realized that North Korean hacker got access to my watch. I will put the panic button, it will actually release it without check-in timer. That can be interesting because Deadman Switch concept is you should be like, you know, dead, not available. But instead of that, I'm still alive, but can I make it as a like panic button so that, oh, there's so many hack is happening. If I click it, it will work it as a circuit breaker. Maybe it's interesting. Then what is nice to have? Oh, so that it will have a multi, you know, beneficiary, and then they will have a split percentage. It will have an encrypted message going together alongside the funds. Oh, I will have a decoy vault, so it's gonna release the decoy one first, and then it will go to the real one only after that. All this kind of thing is nice to have, but maybe you don't have a time to build, and not necessary to, not necessary to build now. So you can see that like check-in timer, demo impact high, its core feature, maybe difficulty not too much, auto release, let's just, it's imaginary scenario, okay? It's a mid, but like then high impact. Oh, panic button is like a wow factor that I can add, but decoy vault, maybe it's difficult to build, but demo is not great, then I will focus on first 3 features. And these things are done within like, let's say 36 hours, then you can focus on next ones. So what great team look like? You're gonna have this like 4 different roles. It doesn't need to be 4 different people. It can be one person can be builder and designer at the same time. One person can be product thinker and designer at the same time. Whatever combination, but if you have this hat, if you're a multi-hatter, make sure that you are thinking dedicated to each topic at a time. So they're like, oh, you're a builder, but you're also a product thinker. Then like you need to gather the team. Hey guys, let's talk about product. What feature is the core feature? Wow factor, let's focus on that. We're gonna sprint for next like 4 hours, and then we meet, and then we're gonna discuss what's working, what's not. We will get rid of it. If you're a designer, but also at the same time presenter, you will be focusing on design, but perhaps like a Saturday afternoon, you will start to think about, hey, what's the storyline? What feature is ready or not? So make sure that you build a sum of the skeleton, what you're gonna present about. Many of them can actually accelerate a lot with the AI tools now. Funny enough, actually, my presentation, so I wrote this all in just text, and I put it to the Claude design, make the presentation for me. All the design is absolutely done by Claude Code in like, with my effort of 5 seconds. I just had to put all the text, that's it. So when you are making such thing, try to utilize the tool, but make sure someone is owning the task. It's not about the task is big or not. It should be done, then someone should own that. They're a presenter, they need to prepare the presentation. If you're a product person, make sure checking in with your team so that you say no to the feature which is not important. So everyone is coding. That happened like the first time when I went to Hackathon. Like nobody wanted to be a product person nor designer or presenter, so everyone was like full stack developer. Nobody wanted to be a front end. So I was there like a least technical person. I decided to teach myself JavaScript to become front end because nobody wanted to. But what did he talk about? Demo without visuals, it fails. So that was a problem, or no communication. We realized that 2 hackers were working on exactly same feature which were not important. That was disaster. And even during the presentation, without discuss the developer go front and talk about that unimportant feature, 30% of our pitching time, that's disaster. So please communicate. And then this leader, I don't mean it, you need to have a boss, you need a tiebreaker. Sometimes someone gonna say A is more important, B is more important. Often product person gonna say, let's focus on B. Either you think that it's convincing or not, once when you make a decision you need to move on, you only have 48 hours. So please make sure you have ownership of what you're building and no endless debates. So fast execution, decide quickly, communicate constantly, cut scope aggressively, protect team energy, keep morale high. All of them, you can relate that all the stories we had before, like what is a typical mistake, what you can do. So this is exactly same gist, just the version to keep the team, how to say that, like efficient, and decide fast, make sure that you have a tiebreaker, and then convince yourself when things are decided against your idea. You just work together or you split the team as soon as possible. So timeline, this is rough timeline. Your team might be different, but first 4 hours, idea and scope. Lock the problem, lock the wow moment. This may change. Sometimes this change in like Saturday, like afternoon. This shouldn't change Saturday midnight. And then like you do a core build like first 36 hours, which means that by Saturday evening, most core build is done. So you are confident that you have a 2 core feature and 1 wow feature, and then you are now working on polishing things around, prepare the demo, and then you should be ready to pitch. Sometimes this can change. Of course, don't follow this like a Bible. One time it happened to me that like just night before submission, I had a like huge urge that we need to change something from scratch. Sometimes that happens, and if your team is fine with it, you can also do it. Maybe worth the risk, it's fun. Just make sure that you all commit together. If you lose it because of that, you are fine with it. If you win because of that, you can win all together instead of any of you say, I told you so. So make sure that you are like committed together. But sometimes that happens, and sometimes that's the best thing happening. So this is a general guideline, you know. But like 8 hours ago, submission, you feel like, oh shit, we completely said wrong problem. Guys, I'm so sorry. We will build things around. We need to change the storyline completely. That happens, and sometimes that's the most successful things. And maybe that fails, you have a best friends who build that through together. So prototype first, like it should be like something done very, very quickly. Please talk to mentors or judges. Sometimes you have your own interpretation what bounty is about, and then the bounty sponsors are completely having different idea. So maybe you were building something they were not expecting in maybe positive way, negative way. Make sure you have a discussion with them. It's partially perhaps like you couldn't understand what they meant. Also, a lot of times, also perhaps they didn't give you a clear explanation on what's their expectation. So you must go to talk to them, and this is what I'm building, what do you think? And you can see the feeling if they have an appetite on it, that you have a better chance of like building further, get better support. Ugly is okay, you need to have some visual, but don't over engineering it. I mean, with AI, actually a lot of things become much beautiful than average technical people doing it. So do not worry about it, but ugly is fine. Please make sure that you have some stable demo branch. Fake the backend doesn't mean that like fake the backend in a sense that tell judges that you actually built when you didn't build. I'm type of judge that who actually go to GitHub repo and quickly find one line and try to like disqualify them if they lie about. Some people don't do, some people do, so you could get lucky, unlucky, depending on what your perspective are. Don't fake it, but you can have a dummy backend and just be frank about it, what you built. You don't need to put emphasis on this is the dummy, but you explain and they're gonna say, oh, how many of them are actually working? For this hackathon, we demonstrate ABC features, and then D is dummy backend, so we don't need a whole database for this, but we are now just pulling some hardcode data to show the feature. They're all fine with it. Just be frank with it. And optimize for demo. So they're like, make some architect choice that in few hours, I need to present this one. This is interesting one. Do I want to, is it easy to show? So please make sure that like it's having influence in your decision. So risk management, quick thing. So like a broken deployment, API failure, unfinished features, exhausted team. So first two, you can like prevent that by recording some and having some screenshot, and make sure that like one funny thing is like once I had to go to demo, and 60 seconds before demo, my window was getting updated, and after updated, my app was not working anymore. So we had to quickly roll back, and that was the most sweaty moment because we didn't think why it wouldn't work. And stupidly, I had an automatic, update. So make sure that you turn off software updates, and then make sure that you do demo first. And unfinished feature, cut them. Some of them, keep the only make sense one. Exhausted team, make sure that you have a few practice and also get some sleep. So momentum is better than perfection. Make sure that you guys are all building together through the one momentum together. AI is a force multiplier. So we talked about this. Some of them are very, very fast, helping you. So they're coding some boilerplate. I'm sure that all of you have tried some AI tools, debugging. UI is amazing. I remember that most of hackathons every year, people were looking for front-end and designer. Not that they are not worth it. If you're front-end or designer, you're still very, very important. But if you don't, okay, don't be devastated, and that you can actually build something. It might look a little bit generic, but still you can get there and pitch as well. So why this got erased, I don't know, but coding, so all of you are aware of this tool, but if you're not, Cloud Code, Codex, Cursor, Copilot, interface, it got erased, but Figma, or a cloud design for pitch deck, Canva, there's multiple things you can use for free credit. And research it means that a quick ideation, ChatGPT, Perplexity is also good for that. And deployment, Versa is, I guess, a number one very famous one to use. So make sure that pick just one tool per category and try them out. And many of them are either available free, or they give you some free credits. So if it's not the case, also try to a little bit play things around which one you can use. So you may use the the free limit for one and then move to the other one. So winning pitch, if you are not used to giving a pitch, focus on this just flow. Initially you talk about the problem, saying the why it matters to fix the problem. So that man switch, you're gonna say that okay, if I'm that, my crypto fund get that, so I want to send it to my family. This is really important, right? And then the solution is they're gonna be having check-in timer, so that if I don't check in, it's gonna release my fund to my family member. And then this is the demo. And then obviously you will set maybe 15 seconds timer. Okay, I didn't check in. What are you gonna do? It delivers and I get the fund, and it shows the impact. And this one, and then if you manage to build a wow feature, but now guess what? This is not only for Deadman Switch, but imagine that last a month, we had a 600 million get drained by hacker. So you realize that your seed phrase is out, you click this button, this is gonna be also sending to my multi-sig account. So this is not only Deadman Switch, but this is also pretty much for a life man. That can be a funny story. So now, time to find your team. Some of you perhaps came here to get tips. Some of you were listening all this to get this point to find your teammate. This is the basic thing. What you need to do is tell your name, your skill, what you're interested in, what you want to build, who you are looking for. What we're gonna do is what time is it now here? So we have a 20 minutes. So 20 minutes we're gonna be doing it here, and then we can move there. So what I usually do is think about what you want to build quickly now. I'm gonna ask you, you can raise your hand, you come to stage, you go through this. I am Eomji. I have a great product skill, and also I can present very, very well. I have a minimal I don't know, front-end knowledge. We want to build it together. I checked a space computer bounty. I want to play with the hardware, but I don't have an idea on hardware too much. Please work together. Then someone gonna be talking with you and building further afterwards. So now let's think about a little bit what you want to build, and then you will come to front and then pitch your idea to recruit your team member. And then make sure they post same thing in the Telegram chat, so people who are in different workshops or different talk, they can reach out to you. So someone who wants to come to stage and share your idea what you want to build? Yes?
Hello. Yeah. So my name is Guido. I'm currently working at Bogdoni. I'm focused on CK proofs, zero knowledge proofs, verifying on-chain a voting process. This is what we do at Bogdoni. So we are using kind of rollups. Yeah. And I'm interested in the idea of agents publishing votes that only humans can answer to decide the governance of AI. So an alignment strategy so that basically AIs ask us in a ZK verified way how would they act or what are the limits, like these questions that instead of companies deciding on this, that we as humanity we can decide on this in a way that is trustless. Yeah.
Great.
What? Sorry. Missing? I'm
So what's your skill and whom you're looking for?
Anyone who is interested in these topics, and I'm mainly like backend engineer. Like I code in Go, but like I'm using AI, of course, to whatever it needs. So yeah, anyone who
Sounds good. So if you want to build some AI governance curator using ZK, please talk to Guy, and then make sure also uploading like short comments about you in Telegram so people can also DM you.
Thank you.
Anybody else who has an idea? Or even you don't have an idea, if you can try to, like what is that, like promote yourself, okay? And then saying that, like, I'm best front-end developer here, you must recruit me, I'm better than cloud design.
Hi, I'm Mikhail Poma. I'm data scientist and AI engineer. I'm quite new to Ethereum, but I used it a lot, but haven't built anything yet. So I'm interested in agents and tools. So if you can share your ideas with me, we can build it together.
So you need to talk to Guy as well.
Sorry? Huh?
So, yeah, because he is also building AI agent,
Yeah.
like you're governing,
Yes,
So,
sir. My nickname is Ambisinistra on Telegram. Yeah. Thank you.
thank you. And you first, yeah. And please, everyone, don't forget to post this on Telegram, because otherwise people will not know how to reach out to you, and then they will be, like chasing you at the hole. So.
Okay, hi. I'm Martin. I'm based in Prague here, and I'm mainly focused on product design, maybe wipe coding, something like that. I have a colleague that is also working on this project and is Web3 developer, but we are just want to have more hands on this. And we are focusing on energy grid or something like that, tokenized energy certificates, like for these small energy plants. And basically we want to connect these hardware of these energy plants. And yeah, so we are finding a backend and front-end developer to do this.
Great. Very timely topic. Everyone fighting about computing energy, so great. And yeah.
Hey guys, my name's Augustin. I'm from Hungary. I wrote in the Telegram group yesterday, and so my idea is to build something that's fun and delightful. And I'm here for the experience. I'm here to interact with people, to be creative, to brainstorm. I don't really care so much about what it is that we're building, as long as it's a tough problem that we're solving and we're solving it in a fun way. So I already wrote in the Telegram. If you want to, I don't know, if you feel the vibe and you just want to work together, then hit me up. Thanks.
Thank you. And anybody else? Are we all good, everyone?
last chance.
Don't be shy.
Hello, my name is Gunit. Uh, I'm interested in I've got like ZK experience. I've been in the ZK space for like 2 years, and also like done a bit of blockchain work, like smart contracts and stuff. And I'm interested in like working on hardware. I have a weather sensor with me, which I want to like get it to work, measure weather, and make a ZK oracle out of it to like prove that the weather here is at a certain location is what the sensor says it is, and then prove that on chain maybe. Yeah, like do something with it. Not exactly sure like what the end-to-end flow is gonna look like. I have a general idea in mind, but yeah, come talk to me if you feel like working together. Yeah, I also want to have like a lot of fun during this hackathon. Yeah, learn a couple of new things. So yeah.
Thank you.
Anybody else? No? Good. I think then we are good with it at the moment. So then, if you want to continue discussion, so this like a presenter, can you raise your hand so people can locate you? So these 4 gentlemen who just like pitched, these 4, you remember, 5 actually. Yeah, so you remember, please go to talk to them. So everyone can recognize you. So please go to talk to them so that you can build a team, and make sure post on Telegram, because some people may arrive to the venue a little bit late, so that they have a chance to know what you are going to build. If there's any help needed, let me know so that I can help you out.
Okay, please everyone give a clap to Eomji for amazing presentation on how to improve in Hackathon.